Just hit the start button. It's on record. I'm going to kind of stand over here. I wrote it out so I could remember what I wanted to say and get through it. I'm Phyllis Beasley. I met Cyndee in the late 1990s. I brought my Sheltie puppy Laddie to obedience classes at the Greater Columbia Obedience Club, and Cyndee quickly introduced herself as another Sheltie owner and as a horse lover like me. Based on the bond of a breed we both loved, Cyndee quickly became a friend, united with common interests. Cyndee knew so many people in the Sheltie world. When she was contacted by one of her Sheltie connections in North Carolina and was asked for help in rescuing a large number of Shelties confiscated from a hoarder situation, she turned to me and our other Sheltie friend in the club, Shirley Hollingsworth, who's here with Cyndee's youngest, Gideon. And that's where our journey really began. After helping with that rescue operation, Cyndee, Shirley, and I decided that we should not be sending Shelties in need of rescue to North Carolina. We needed a formal Sheltie rescue here in South Carolina, and thus began South Carolina Sheltie Rescue. She was our connection. We got referrals from other Sheltie rescues and her many other contacts, and she was our vet connection too. Cyndee made arrangements to set up rescue accounts at the vet's offices where she worked. I remember so many times where Shirley, Cyndee, and I would gather around some badly neglected Sheltie rescue and work, sometimes for hours, with grooming tools, trying to save a horribly matted coat. The feeling of being able to find these neglected souls a new beginning in life was wonderful, and we all shared in the joy. But I also remember other times when Cyndee gave so unselfishly and willingly to help a friend. She was always, just like Dr. Harden said, she was always a sympathetic ear, and you felt that she would do whatever she could to help you, no matter what time of day. When my daughter first got her poorly trained horse, Cyndee was the one who came to our rescue. It's very hard, those of you who have children, to know for children to listen to their mothers. I needed an intervention. My daughter was very upset and frustrated and a little scared of her new horse. Cyndee came to the barn and helped her learn how to work with and train this anxious little chestnut gelding, who, through Cyndee's help, I have to read this or I won't get through it, and my daughter's perseverance, became a successful and much-loved horse, even used in intercollegiate competitions. I also remember the time when Cyndee came to my rescue. I had begun a project of refinishing my kitchen table. To talk about versatile and making furniture, this is, when you said that, it's a perfect example of this. I had absolutely no clue what I was doing. No clue. I had the instruction manual. Cyndee stopped by, I think, to visit for some other reason, and saw me doing it, and she plunged right in to help. I'd love to say I now know how to refinish furniture, but no, that was Cyndee. I just have a beautiful kitchen table now because of her. Cyndee was such a multifaceted person, it never ceased to amaze me, and I'm hearing this from everybody. I didn't really know the extent of it. My personal experience was her multifaceted abilities. She was a dog trainer, cat lover, handy with repairs, a harp player, and a poet, and some other things. Her interests and friends were as diverse as you could imagine. Here we all are here, and we've never met before, but we came from all walks of her life. Haunt me forever. I never got to say goodbye to her. But she would remind me that we stay with those we love and visit them frequently. And now she can join her beloved companions, Merlin the Sheltie and Studley the horse, and all the others who are waiting for her at the Rainbow Bridge. What a joyous reunion it will be. In her honor, I want to share the following poem that Cyndee wrote and was used on many Sheltie and rescue websites. It's called The Angels Are Among Us by Cyndee Walklett. The angels are among us, swirling gently round our feet. Sparkling eyes shine just like stars. Coats soft, they smell so sweet. Like new mown hay in summer dew, or leaves burning in the fall. A fragrance triggers memories. But I stop before I call. The one I call has gone away to the Rainbow Bridge, named place. I'd forgotten in my heart of hearts I can no longer kiss her face. Heart in tatters, I break down, face buried in my hands, and sob for those who've gone ahead into that rainbow land. But while I sit in misery, A warmth wraps all around my inner being and warms my heart as I sit on the cold ground. Feather-soft breeze brushes by, caressing cheek and skin. Tears are gone, I feel at peace. Sadness gone upon the wind. See, we are never alone, though times it feels that way. The misty shadows once known to us keep all dark things at bay. Guarding those they've left behind, though they're no longer seen, is a job they do with love and care. Away they've never been, walking with our every step, with us throughout the night. Our little angel guardians hold us always in their sight. So if you're lost and feel alone, you just can't keep the pace with problems in your home or job, just think about their face. Then raise your head and whistle out into the sky and bide. Your special angel will be right there forever by your side. Linda?
Morning with that lousy computer. It wouldn't print, it wouldn't boost up the typeface. I'm 62 years old, I can't read without glasses, I need a big print. Somehow it got done, but I was thinking, where are you, girl? You would have gotten me through this. What I'm amazed at is the few of us that have spoken so far, we're all saying the same thing. And we haven't gotten together or used each other as a sounding board when we put together our thoughts or words. I tried, as a friend of Cyndee's, to touch on as much as I could, and I purposely did not write any of this until this morning, because I knew if I wrote it last week, I'd be crazy changing and editing, and when I got here, I did a little editing anyway. So I'm just going to read this, and I think all of you here today will be able to pick out some things and share in the joy of this day today. Dear Cyndee, Aunt Riri, C. How strange that I should be reminiscing with you in a letter like this on a day like today. You should be here with us. In most ways you are. How long ago we first met. We were young then. It was the early 80s and we worked at Providence Hospital. You were a quirky girl from Delaware who loved animals and had a very high IQ. 130, you told me. You weren't afraid of anything, and when your department got the first PC in the hospital, you immediately became the techno guru who could help the rest of us inept, fearful people through those early, very scary days of DOS. And most likely there are some folks here today who never heard of DOS, let alone plodded through those scary black and white computer screens, putting in codes of mysterious letters and numbers, only to be met by more messages we didn't understand. You, however, were in your element. We were so young. We would go into the hospital cafeteria, buy a plain hamburger real cheap, then sneak over to the brand new salad bar and turn our sad little meat patties into works of art. We ended up with Fuddrucker fare on our McDonald's budget. Hence the word Jip Burgers came to be. Remember when the hospital got its first helicopter and the pilot Steve looked as good as Tom Cruise in Top Gun? It was hysterical to see every female employee at Providence lined up on the second floor window facing the helipad to get a glimpse of this gorgeous creature. We liked men. These were the early days of hormones and dancing at Studebaker's or Andrews on Wednesday night. We hoped guys would buy us drinks, and we invented signals to save each other from potential problems and pests. If someone was bothering us or boring us, we would point out an older guy who regularly came into the clubs, called him my father, and we said he was routinely checking up on me at the various clubs we went to, and we had to dodge him when he showed up. We actually had a couple of guys try to hide us from this fellow we called Dad, but most of the pests at the bar weren't interested in the drama and moved on to the next girls further on down. Over the decades, we had our share of heartache and tears in that department, but we survived and would pull out the looms and weave countless potholders to relieve the stress. I knew your family in Florida as long as I knew you. We made several car trips to your parents' and grandparents' homes in St. Pete. Once we drove halfway, tired, stayed at a motel where the bathroom floor was underwater in the early hours of the morning. I don't remember if it was you or me who screamed when one of us got up during the night in the dark and water was on our ankles. We were so tired and mad that we had to lug all of our stuff to another room in the middle of the night. Once in Florida, your parents took us to a very nice restaurant where I had escargot for the first time. I loved talking to your dad about old radio days, early TV, and the Northeast part of the country where we both came from. I loved talking to your mom about genealogy and collecting and gardening. They put up with us sleeping late, staying out later, and taking the boat by ourselves out to the Sunshine Skyway Bridge in the middle of the bay. We were young and free, and I believe we peeled for weeks after that sunny visit, before the days of sunscreen. You loved the harp, and I never heard you play. You liked Star Wars, Celtic, fantasy, cats solving mysteries in books, and horse stories. You believed in ghosts, signs, tarot, and Eye of Newt. I was much too practical for that, but you introduced me to a world that just could be possible, and it helped me become a bit more fancy-free. For that, I am so grateful to you. At Chernoff Silver, you introduced us to Anya and New Age, and continued to guide all of us out of computer snarls and into the world of technology. You were the first person I knew who had a laptop and a cell phone, and various other mysteries I left to your devices. We shared a love for Manx cats and brought several stars into the world. Gertie soon begat Baby Gert, Raggy's my own Bibbidi. Somehow the cats knew to wait till the weekend to birth their young, and I was amazed that we could sleep between kittens coming and always wake up automatically when the next kit was ready to make his appearance. You designed a chariot for one of your kitties who was paralyzed from the waist down, and we watched unbelievably as the cat climbed the couch, dragging the chariot behind him. Stumpies, rumpies, it was a happy time. Then we went to the Columbia Cat Show in the 90s and discovered the Cornish Rex breed. We sat there for hours deciding if you should bring home Zoe, and she became your first Rex. She looked like Charlie Chaplin. Since then, you and I have brought several Cornish Rex into our household, and a love affair began. How great it was that Chernoff Silver, the ad agency we worked for in the Vista, allowed us to bring our pets into the office with only 2 rules: no poop and no barking. As you expanded your Sheltie family, Ivy, Holly, Carrie, Merlin, Jitterbug, Gideon, you would bring any or all of them in on any given day. They were by far the most well-behaved bunch at the company. We went to nursing homes with the Shelties and the Cornies, as we like to call the Cornish Rex, all in costume at Halloween. You handcrafted little black capes and pointy hats for the cats. The Shelties were ballerinas or princesses or magicians. None of your pets ever had a problem with the costumes, and everyone walked into patient rooms on leashes in a straight line, and we just carried the magic in with us. I remember the Shelties curling up on patient beds. Even Zoe the Rex in her witch outfit would make herself comfortable with a patient. The elderly and their families were amazed. All of your pets always had a sense of purpose in healing humans in one way or another. Your Merle became a blood donor. You introduced me to the world of breeders, agility trials, obedience classes, shows, and the fun began. Then we got older and different life challenges faced us. Your dad became ill. I lost my mother, layoffs, and menopause. We didn't get together like the old days, but we always let each other know when a new animal came into our lives. I am so happy we drove to pick up Gideon together. It was our last car trip. In December, you emailed me your happiness that Trish was entrusting you with yet another Rex, Ichabod, to your care, and you would be picking him up soon. It was our last email. Then, on a near spring day, you left us. No goodbyes, no fanfare. You left us as you lived, a private person surrounded by your fur kids. You did everything the way you wanted to, see, and I think the people in your life who gave you the most space lasted throughout your life the longest. Always there for you and you for us. Now the hard days begin. Your fearlessness somehow balanced my own hesitation and dark side. You opened doors and handed me a paintbrush or a roofing tool and said, just do it. I so needed that. Only you would put in her own satellite dish and tar her own roof. Thank you for helping me be brave and try things that I had no courage to tackle. Thank you, C, for reinventing me time and time again over the years, and for sharing and traveling a long path with me together, both of us. Sail on, Silver Girl. I love you.
You want to go first?
No.
Okay. Can you do this?